So see, the problem is the terms and shit that you niggas is using. So because this is a new day and age, you know what I'm talking about? We in like the age of Aquarius or whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. This is 2022. You feel me? Like I said in my other video, man, the monster pimping and this and that, bro. You know, it's a new day and age. So, like I said, on aggression, we gonna keep coming from this book, man. I done got halfway, not even halfway. Yeah, I can say about halfway. Nah, I ain't even got halfway through this, matter of fact. Yeah, man. I'm not all the way through this some bitch. But does not matter, man. There's a lot of good info, man. This is one of them books. Every couple is full of big ass sentences. Like big ass sentences. And them motherfuckers just keep hitting, just keep hitting, just keep hitting. I highlighted a bunch of shit, but to give you a quick rundown, right? On Aggression, the world renowned bestseller on human conflict and its roots in animal behavior. Okay? And I'm probably just gonna title this shit On Aggression. You feel me? Because just coming from this book, man, it touches so many different things. This is why, like, a sociology course or a psychology course should be in fucking high school, like public school. Like, every one of them should have that shit. I swear to God. Financial accounting is a course that I had in college. I feel like should definitely be in high school. Motherfuckers should be required to take that shit like sophomore year. You can start getting a job at 15, and they need to start taking financial accounting. It matters to actually sit down and come up with a budget of your assets and liabilities, what you doing, your bills, what you bringing in, what you putting out. That shit matters. But anyways, I digress, man. You see, I'm chilling on the bed, man. So my motherfucking laptop might move and shit, so I apologize about that. Anyways, again, on aggression and its roots, human conflict and its roots in animal behavior. Now again, I can't even bring up this book without bringing up again the Iceman's Inheritance. A lot of this shit is the Western mentality, and even in the book it says straight up, and in the other book, the ISIS Thesis by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing that I did again, man. I did a couple videos on it. I need to go back and watch it. That shit matters, man. This shit is all about genetic annihilation, which is why these motherfuckers are territorial, which is where the conflict comes from, okay? So, again, in this book, it starts off by observing a lot of other animals, which, let me say this too, man. I think it's fucking dope that they out there looking at animals, studying animals, observing animals. One of the examples that he used was the moose, the wild moose, packs of herds of moose or whatever. They went out there for months on horseback and donkeys and mules and shit, but they sat out there for months and watched them in their natural habitat do what they do to gather this information. And it's fucked up because they watching these moose and they studying these coral reefs and they watching in these aquariums and they setting up these experiments and shit, and they're like, there's niggas that do the exact same shit. So I'm saying that because on another level, like I said, on some advanced shit, because you know we advanced niggas on this shit, right? And I'm a fucking wizard. So when we talk about like spirit animals and totem animals, the way these motherfuckers describe the ducks and show they patterns and shit, and we talking about ducks, I'm like, damn, that is exactly what it is. Motherfuckers run a whole lot of game. Like one of the inciting is what they call it. But when a pair of ducks, and again, like the whole alpha shit and what is the alpha and whatever else, man. Well, in this duck society and whatnot, or just again, we talk about territorial animals, right? It does not matter about an alpha or not. When you come across a male of sufficient size and strength or whatever the fuck you want to call it, are you going to fight or not? Are you going to show aggression or not? You see what I'm saying? So when we come to the human world, see, aggression is good. I told my boss one of these things, nigga, I got promoted shortly after. But I said, you know what? Anger is good for one thing only that I can think of. But it is good. They're like, what, huh? Yeah, anger is good. Why that? It gets shit done. And they just stopped and kind of thought about that. And I said, so yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I had to piss that dude off, but that's what it took for that particular guy. But after he was pissed off, he got out there and worked his ass off. He might have been mad at me, but he got out there and got it in. See, this is a job. Personally, there's someone that loves, everyone has someone that loves them somewhere. This is what I say on the job, man. Personally, there's someone that loves you somewhere, but this is at the job. You at work. Professionally, it's about how you do your job. You'll get love here if you do your job at an exceptional level. Anybody can work at this level. That's just fine. But if you come in here and you choose to work at this level, you display this quality, this caliber, you know what I'm saying, of work ethic, of morale, you see what I'm saying? Then that's how you gain respect here, because this is the job. Now you do that shit at home, again, everybody got somebody that love them somewhere, but we at work. So yes, if you got to get mad, if I got to piss you off, like I said, on aggression, it's good for one thing. If anything, we understand it establishes boundaries, territories, because we talking about in the human mind. The world-renowned bestseller on human conflict. So why did I bring up the Iceman's Inheritance? Because, again, the Western conflict. So the Western mind, which is, again, it's just another word for saying the white man, because even Europeans don't really identify as white or Caucasian. You see what I'm talking about? But I ain't getting into all of that because I don't care about all of that. The point is, it is Western at this point, because there are a lot of black people, modern women and men, who have these mentalities. You see what I'm saying? Who are going through these type of situations and behavioral impulse control management wiring in their own brains. Man, y'all doing this shit. Like I said, they out here looking at ducks, observing insects and stick beetles and shit, and being like, well, damn, this is exactly what happens in certain social situations that you will find amongst humans. So whereas, again, they don't communicate in the same way that we communicate. Like, you can talk a good game and you can talk a woman out her drawers and you can sound like an alpha male and not really be one, because you know the right shit to say. But like I said, if it ain't in your DNA, then it ain't in your DNA. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, on some real shit, you feel me? Alpha or not, look, bro, I'm 160 pounds, fam. So a lot of women, when they see me, man, look, this is what it is. That don't mean I ain't out here getting approached. They don't want to throw me some pussy, man. They own it. You see what I'm talking about? I can get that. So my point is, I'm not 200, 250, 300 pounds, man. I'm not some big swole nigga, but you know what I am? I am a motherfucking fighter. I am a fucking warrior, period. And they can sense that. They can smell that in the pheromones. You see what I'm saying? They can see that in my face, in my aggression, in my whatever. You see what I mean? I may look mean as fuck, but at the same time, while I'm looking mean at them, I'm looking at my lips, nigga. I want to bite them in all the worst ways. I want to do bad shit to them. You see what I'm saying? And they know it. Nigga, rape is real fucking with me. Yeah, it's real. I would take that pussy. I mean, now if they ain't with it, then I go about my business. But I'm just saying, you see what I mean? It's that type of aggression, like I will read to you in just a second. You feel me? And like I just did in my last little quick video, real talk, man, where she won't submit to you. Again, man, that like aggression and sexuality are linked when it comes to certain female species of certain animals, certain vertebrates, whatever. You can't apply that to men, certain women. It's in the book, player. It's in the book. You see what I'm saying? But fear and sexuality is linked in males of certain species and this and that and whatever. You feel me? So if the male is afraid of the woman, then that fucks with him sexually. So if she's too aggressive, if she's too mean, if she talks too loud, if she calls you a lame and this and that and whatever, and now you mad and you don't want to fuck her, so you want to go get you some outside, or you can't get out your feelings, get over it. Again, man, I say a lot of this too, bro, real shit. If you have a powerful enough imagination, then you can imagine this woman, whatever woman you with, as whatever woman you want her to be. If you have a powerful enough imagination, when you close your eyes, nobody knows what's going on in your head. Period. You can zone out and she can be whoever, whatever. Turn all the lights out. When you get used to it, just like the meditating and shit, when you get used to it, you can get to that zone in a second. You know what I'm saying? Look, in that movie Soul, right? It's a Disney movie. But in the movie Soul, that's what the one dude was telling him. And he's out there. You see the guy. If you know about the movie, you know about the movie, right? I ain't gonna explain the movie. But the one guy is out there twirling a sign, and that's how he was getting to the astral plane. Because he's twirling his sign. He was just twirling the sign in his zone, just woo, 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 doing him. Nobody's bothering him. This, that, and the third. Turns out he looks like a crackhead that's just out there. But while he's out there doing his thing, you know, for 5 or 10 minutes, and he's on the corner and he's just flipping his book, you know, twirling his little sign or whatever, he slips out of, he zones out, goes to the astral plane. You see what I'm saying? And that's how he was able to meet the dude's soul. So again, point being here is, when you get used to meditating and silence and everything, or just whatever, when you get used to going into the zone, when you get used to holding your crystals and playing with your crystals, doing your crystal work, doing your shadow work, it's easy to slip off in the zone, man. When you get used to reading a lot of these books with these big ass sentences, even with these words, you know what I'm saying? You get convert. All right, you know, I'm gonna read to you in a second, but you get my point, man. You get used to certain shit. Even getting used to certain shit, right? Rituals, okay? Like I said, that other book, Tribal Science, Brains, Beliefs, and Bad Ideas, okay? Own aggression. So in the beginning of this book, it points out like aggression as far as what it actually is and the impulse of the shit. So I want to say this about sociology as well, man. Look, all behavior is learned. Even if you are aggressive, the way you go about doing your aggressive shit, all behavior is learned. So even if it's the modern woman and whatever else, all behavior is learned. It's not an instinct. It's not just naturally like that. So my point I'm getting at here is, bro, she ain't like that forever. She ain't like that always. You see what I'm saying? Even like I said in the last video, once the thing is, all that aggression, all that rage, all that whatever, once you get somebody on your side, you see what I'm saying? Then it's like y'all doing a dance, a tug of war, you feel me? Even you and the woman, it's a tug of war. It's kind of a dance. You like me, you don't like me, you like me this much, or whatever. Till you get the pussy and whatever, then like you know what it is. But once you got a partner, right, now it's my aggression and your aggression, and we go side by side, and it's us against the world. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said in one of my videos, you feel me, I don't fight women. Once I understand, see, for some of us men, it's clearly obvious, bro. If she got tits and a vagina, that's a woman. I'm not getting into all the transsexual and the homo shit. That shit does not really matter to me. Because again, man, I had a lot of friends in college that was kind of on some, you know, it was on that shit. So it is what it is. But I mean, you know, if you're going to act like a woman, I'll treat you like a woman. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to act like a man, you're going to get dealt with like a man. But point being this, all right? Okay, once the motherfucker has identified themselves as a woman, all right, off the dribble, okay? Like I said, it is about a mentality, but, hey, from Jump Street, if I recognize it as a woman, it's a female, I ain't worried about that shit. She can argue, she can get mad, she can this, that, and the third, whatever, right? It's not supposed to affect you the same way. Cat Williams said this shit, man. It's called self-esteem. Esteem of your motherfucking self, right? So point being, emotional intelligence, you feel me? If you have emotional intelligence, then you control your emotions. Certain things may trigger your aggression. But if you got control over it, then you control that shit, okay? You control it, all right? So that's emotional intelligence. I may get mad, I may whatever, but I can suppress it, regress it, put it, channel it into a different realm, a different aspect. I'll do something about it later, you know what I'm saying? But that's the point. You control that shit. Somebody may piss you off, but the level, the degree, and how you react to it, all behavior is learned. So you may have to recognize your behaviors, unlearn your behaviors or learn how to get on top of that shit, or at least, if anything, learn your triggers. You see what I'm saying? Learn what triggers you so that you can avoid that shit. I'm a strong believer in playing to your strengths. You see what I'm saying? Identify your weaknesses and then avoid them shits. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I ain't gonna get into all that. I want to get back to the book. All right. So yeah, man. Because I did a video, man, and so I had a lot of tooth pain, man. Thank you for staying with me this long, man. We on the rise. We on the motherfucking rise. We got over 200 subscribers, man. So I appreciate that, man. I love all you cats, man. I really do. I really do. That's why I'm doing this shit despite the potential pain, man. I gotta get a tooth pulled in a couple days. And I've been out, but I realized when I did that last video and I started going through all this mouth pain, I was like, nigga, that's because I'm on to some shit. I'm starting to spit some fire, nigga. Spitting fucking fire, nigga. So I'm burning out any unused, you know what I mean? We'll never take shit on the base level, you know what I'm saying? That's why this book takes you all over the place. We'll never take shit at a base level. Like I said, these motherfuckers is watching ducks, studying ducks. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, all right, let's get to it. Okay. A big part of this, right? They watched a lot of animals in a lot of respective places and enclosures, you feel me? And a lot of what happens is animals, like animals that don't compete intra-species. That's the word they use, intra-species. So animals that are not of the same species, so they don't compete sexually for the same female. You see what I'm saying? They don't compete sexually, right? And they don't compete for the same food. You see what I'm saying? They don't bother each other. They don't worry about each other. You see what I mean? So this is where you can take it back to like how they talk about like in Africa and whatever else, how again the Iceman's inheritance, when you come from a place where food is abundant for everybody, you do not have the same mentality. Aggression is not channeled the same way. You find other ways to release that aggression. In the Iceman's inheritance, it talks about aggression as well. And then there, one of the things it says is, again, growing up in the ice, they had to retain the fur. One of the things that helped them survive the ice during the last ice age, Worm 3 or whatever you want to call it. I think it was called Worm. There was Worm 1, Worm 2, and Worm 3. It was the ice age, bro. Real shit. So during Worm 3, the last ice age, the motherfuckers that got caught over there in the Caucasus Mountains or whatever else, one of the things that helped them survive was retaining their hair and shit. So that's why like they want y'all to have these big shaggy beards and whatever. But I ain't gonna get into all that. But they hair all on their chest and whatever. You see what I'm saying? We got a little bit. I got a little bit going on, but there are niggas with big hairy chests. So you see, that's why I say it's also a mentality. And now that we talking about DNA, well, again, man, say what you want, but the white man has been all over the planet, has mixed his DNA with damn near everything that he can and can't. But it has happened. Okay, so the Western mentality, a lot of this shit is in some of y'all DNA. So you got to get control of your mind, and reading books like this helps you gain control of your mind and shit like that. So again, intra-species, motherfuckers that compete for food and women. You see what I'm saying? It was either women, intra-species, or food within the environment, right? And if you know somebody is of your species, of your kind, then you know they eat what you eat. So another male that eats what you eat gonna have to go find his own fucking territory somewhere. You see what I'm saying? It don't have to be a pride of anything. It don't have to be an alpha of anything. This is just you, how you gonna survive as a male. You have to be a fighter, a warrior, period. And even if it was, you see what I'm saying? In the tribe and in this and that and whatever else, the alphas have they pick. So like the chimpanzees they was talking about, the alphas have they pick, and the betas get whatever's left. But still, if you ain't no dominant male, you not getting a shot. Betas, that's not to say there are still motherfuckers less than that. The 3 guy and the 4 guy and the 5 guy. You see what I'm saying? But even still, right? The male is responsible for the welfare. Let me hit you with this shit. It is known. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. 20 minutes in, but we got fire for you, right? This territorial aggression is really a very simple mechanism of behavior psychology. Okay? Okay? Gives an ideal solution to the problem of distribution of animals of any one species available, of any one species over the available area in such a way that it is favorable to the species as a whole. Even the weaker specimens can exist and reproduce if only in a very small space. This has special significance in creatures which reach sexual maturity long before they are fully grown. So again, we know they talking about humans because we got kids that are 10, 11, 12 years old having babies. So technically, before even the government and society says they are fully grown at, let's just say, some states, I think it may be 16, but 18 in most. The general exception would just, 18, right? It means you grown, but they having babies at 15, 16, 17. So they've reached sexual maturity before they're actually fully grown. So we know this territorial aggression. And again, the mind frame. When you come from a place like Africans, the Asians, and pretty much everywhere else where there was enough food, enough women, you see what I'm saying? Enough women, like real shit, man. Anyways, okay, all right. In many animals, the same result is achieved without aggressive behavior, all right? The most important function of intraspecific aggression is the even distribution of the animals of a particular species over an inhabitable area. Now that was necessary for the Neanderthals, according to the Iceman's inheritance. That shit was necessary for the Neanderthals over there in the ice. This shit snows and was cold for like some spots 6 months a year. It's all dark and ice. Think of like Siberia, the Yetis. You see what I'm saying? It's cold as fuck. So when the Western man started to intermingle, he still has these ideas. I have a book called Dirt by Terrence McLaughlin. Dirt. You see what I'm saying? And Brother Panic mentioned that book. I got that book from Brother Panic. I seen this book inside a book. So I like a lot of times I go to the big bibliography in the back of this book. You see what I'm saying? And I may find something that just triggers me. So, I will buy that shit. Big bibliography. Patterns of social behavior in big game of the United States and Europe. Now, it was published in 1956. You know what I mean? Just different books. I'm not saying I would read that book. And this is just me running off on a tangent. But at the same time, if you understand what I'm really telling you, it's like, this is how you gain your knowledge. You see what I'm saying? If we don't have an internet, if this shit ever goes down and it ain't no, you know what I'm saying? You can go to these books and find other books that go further into the subjects that you care about, like how I did with this one. Oh, I got another book I can't wait to start reading after I read this one. This is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, and I can't wait. When I'm done with this shit, I'm going to that book, and that book is called The Red Lamp of Incest. Yeah. I'm like, I gotta read this book. They done studied that shit. It's got to mean something. It's got to have some type of fucking influence. But I got it, and we're gonna talk about it, all right? So again, but I know I ran off. I'm sorry. Let me bring you right back. Okay. The most important function is even okay, all right, but it is not the only one. The most important function of intraspecific aggression, intraspecies, okay? Don't get specific fucked up. Intraspecific aggression is the even distribution of the animals of a particular species over an inhabitable area, but it is certainly not its only one. Charles Darwin, and we got the book Darwinism. I can go get that shit. If you don't know nothing about Darwinism, you got to know about these things. I don't know how far these niggas went down, but they college niggas. Some of these niggas is college niggas, so they know what the fuck they talking about, right? I'm just saying, I'm a normal nigga. I have some college, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I have chose to read these books, so fuck with me. All right, okay. Charles Darwin has already observed that sexual selection, the selection of the best and strongest animals for reproduction, was furthered by the fighting of rival animals, particularly males. The strength of the father directly affects the welfare of the children in those species in which he plays an active part in their care and defense. Care and defense. So for the most extreme case, I'm going to take this to Sparta 300. You see what I'm saying? In 300, in Sparta, it was basically my assumption from the movie and what little knowledge I've had from the kind of mythology courses and shit and whatever, I've been on. But in Sparta, in some societies, as soon as the kids were like 9, 10 years old, as soon as the boys were starting to become men, they got taken straight off into these military type, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man, it's time to induct you into manhood. Now it's time to become a man. Even in some of like the African tribes and this and that, again, they have a rite of passage. You are no longer a boy. It's even like the bar mitzvah? Ain't that like some 13-year-old shit? You know what I'm saying? Where you turn 13 and then they have a bar mitzvah and whatever else. Ain't that even the Jewish shit? So at some point, you are no longer a boy. You are a man. You see what I'm saying? You must do what the men do, or at least know how to be a warrior, know how to defend your family, know how to provide for your family. Okay? You got to know how to do it. At some point, that was one of the things we lacking in the black community. You see what I'm saying? So at this conjuncture, I'm going to throw this out here at 27 minutes. It looks like exactly 27 minutes, and that's the number 9, nigga. So I'm going to fuck with it. I'm going to throw this out here, right? And this is just my take on it. If you stuck with me this long, man, comment on this shit. Real talk, because I ain't going to talk too much longer just on this topic. But real shit. This is why I say it takes you everywhere. But, man, the man in the household, with me being in the crib with these niggas, you know what I'm saying, whether I actually live with the broad or however I deal with the broad, but me being there, actually caring for the kids and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? My little guys, little boys, they get handled like boys. You see what I'm saying? The little girls, they princesses and sweethearts and this and that, but she's going to know what it's like to be around men. You see what I'm saying? She's going to know what the alpha male looks like, what the dominant men do and how they act, and you know what I mean, how they going to treat her and whatever else. Point being, it's a whole nother atmosphere with the father in the house. I'm going to take this to Hotel Transylvania for a really good example, right? Transformania just came out. Hotel Transylvania just came out on Prime Video, right? To show you how I'm all over the place with it. Okay, so clearly, and I ain't gonna get into a whole lot. If you want to talk about it, comment on this shit, man. Real talk, comment on this shit, and we can talk about it. But clearly, I might just go ahead and do a video on it anyway. But clearly, the werewolves are like the straight up representative of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Melanated people, the niggas, the black people, right? All the monsters in Hotel Transylvania are the niggas. All of them are the black people, right? All of them. But again, the werewolf family, right? They got 1 million kids running around, a whole bunch of kids, and they forever. Some of them get a little older, some of them don't, but they stay popping out kids. Oh, girl stays pregnant. They're obviously brown, so that triggers you. You should know these are the niggas, okay? But they show you in that movie, right? While the father is a werewolf, the kids are pretty much checked. They under control. You see what I'm saying? They may be wild and rough and this and that, but under the father, they're docile. They do as they told. You see what I'm saying? As soon as he turns into a human, as soon as he appears to have the Western mentality, even though in his mind he's still a monster. He still has he knows himself. He still has his identity, his self, right? But he appears to have the Western mentality. But in the movie, he was like, oh, no, I'm not Dad. I'm Walter. You see what I'm saying? The boys went nuts. All of them, the kids went nuts. And she's like, hey, stop doing this. Don't do that. Don't do it. She had no control over the kids once the father was taken out of the household. So again, the strength of the father directly affects the welfare of the children in those species in which he plays an active part in their care and defense. Right? Bison, antelopes, horses form large herds, and territorial borders and territorial jealousy are unknown to them. See, bisons, antelopes, horses. Like I said earlier, man, spirit animals and totem animals. This is where like the Native Americans got that shit from. You see what I'm saying? And imagine if you was over in Africa, you got way more animals to look at, way more animals to resonate with. You see what I'm saying? Like Moana. They showed you in Moana and shit, the spirit animals, how her mama chose the manta ray. Man, there's a lot of fucking science in these kid movies, man. A lot of science in these kid movies. And we're going to talk about them shits too. But again, man, bisons, antelopes, horses form large herds, and territorial borders and territorial jealousy are unknown to them since there is enough food for all. Nevertheless, the males of these species fight each other violently and dramatically, and there is no doubt that the selection resulting from this aggressive behavior leads to the evolution of particularly strong and courageous defenders of family and herd. Defenders of family and herd. Conversely, there is just as little doubt that the survival value of herd defense has resulted in selective breeding for hard rival fights. This interaction has produced impressive fighters. At every threat to the community, these valiantly surround and protect the weaker members of the herd. Now, again, on aggression, Konrad Lorenz. This fucking book is hard, man. That's why I don't mind just running on. I know this review, this video is going to be long as shit, but oh well, man. This book is hard, and I can't believe ain't nobody said nothing to a nigga about this book up until now. But I'm glad I found it, and I've had it for a little while. Found the time to read this shit. Okay. All right. Now, little doubt that the survival value of herd defense has resulted in selective breeding for hard rival fights. So, hard rival fights. So when you couple this shit early in the book with, like I did in my last video, and back to, again, aggression and sexuality later in the book. Another reason why I brought this shit up as far as the Iceman's inheritance, to tie all three of them together, right? Connecting the motherfucking dots, okay? To tie all three of them together. Okay? The Western mentality, okay? To tie all of them shits together, right? In the Iceman's inheritance, it talks about sexual dimorphism, all right? So, clearly, with white people, Neanderthals, okay, Caucasians, whatever you want to call it, and like I said in my last video, it's starting to happen with niggas too, but it is hard to distinguish the male between the female, especially when a lot of them have these big long ass beards and whatever else. If you check the Guinness Book of World Records, okay, and remember, Caucasian, there is Asian in there, because genetically speaking, and we can take this to the books if you need me to, genetically speaking, there is very little difference between the Caucasoid and the Mongoloid. And as evolution and evolved and whatever the fuck, DNA splicing this and mutation and whatever, right? You have a Caucasian, Caucasoid mixed Mongoloid. Caucasoid-Mongoloid mix, Caucasian. But basically, if you look in the Guinness Book of World Records, both the motherfuckers with the longest beards, men and women, are Caucasian. Both of them, Caucasian. So again, back to that survival defense of surviving in the cold and in harsh areas like Germany, Iceland, Poland, Switzerland, Dutch. They retained a lot of their fur. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them not even having that melanin. Again, it talks about, discussed this shit, man. Not having the melanin in the skin means they can't really feel it. You see what I'm saying? They can't really feel the shit, the way that we feel the shit. So discharging even sexual aggression, that sexual impulse. Again, aggression has many triggers. Not just, it could be fight or flight. It could be hunger. The big four was fight or flight, hunger. Damn, I had to go back to it. But fight or flight, hunger, reproduction. Or I guess that's what it is. Fight, fear, or fight or flight, hunger, and reproduction. You see what I'm saying? Well, is this, yeah, because flight is AKA the escape drive. You see what I'm saying? So fighting, aggression, escape drive, hunger, and reproduction. Those are the big four. My bad for throwing up this shit and doing shit. My fault. But those are the big four. You feel me? Those are the big four. So more than one, or possibly all, can trigger aggression. You see what I mean? So you gotta come at this shit from multiple levels, especially when you dealing with a human. So again, man, if you really on an intellectual shit, this is why I said, like, again, the science of love, man. If you're not a master looking for a slave, then you're not looking to use the black woman for anything. She doesn't have to have anything. You see what I'm saying? Part of why I'm saying this, if you look up her, man, where I like having this shit, and y'all can think this is a female's bedroom if you want to or not, but part of the reason why you see that shit and you see the man and the woman, like I said, I'm a fucking wizard, dog. But part of the reason why you see that shit, nigga, that's Mother Earth watching over my, that's the dream catcher for me, nigga, watching over my shit and whatnot, nigga. I'm over here with the cotton mouth. Nigga, with that's Mother Earth, you know what I'm saying? Period. You talk about black girl magic. Any black woman you ever come across, you should do your absolute best to make her smile. Make her happy in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You see what I'm saying? You can't always point the finger at the woman. I don't care. Like I said, if we talking about war, we talk about male versus female, it don't matter what she's on. And like we just said, sexual selection and this and that and whatever, it breeds the most whatever rival fights, man. This shit is gonna happen some way, shape, form, or fashion, man. You niggas is gonna have to start fighting. And that's why, like I said, Rise of the motherfucking Warriors, nigga. We 37 minutes in. I'm sorry. We just gonna keep going. But that's the point, man. Rise of the Warriors, nigga. Warriors. You ain't gotta have a lot of money and this and that and whatever else to prove yourself as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? See, another example I can use, which is really dope. Check it out. Another example I can use, man, is this, right? A woman may have had a child with a guy because he was the only one that approached her and this and that, like before she stepped into her power for real of knowing her sexuality and who she was and what she was about. But let's just say he was the only man in her town, the only man around in her little environment, her little small society, her whatever, within her reach, that really actually put forth the effort to get to know her and this and that or whatever. You see what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm not against women being, I guess, promiscuous. At the end of the day, you got to know a little something about something before you fuck around with me, man. If you, like, ain't no type of freak, this is going to be maybe perhaps too wild of a ride for you. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have to know a little something about something. Hey, if you been fucking with little dick niggas all your life, then when you get here, man, pussy going to be taken out of commission for a while, man. I have left bitches with the pussy stretched wide the fuck open, nigga. Now, I don't want to put it like that, but pussy stretched and swollen, man. Like swollen motherfucking clothes, bro. You couldn't part them lips if you wanted to, man. She don't want nothing to happen. You ain't got no choice but to wait 3-4 days, nigga, until the pussy heals when I'm done beating on it. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, it just is what it is, cause she ain't used to having something that size. You feel me? Real shit. So, it is what it is. My bad. Kind of ran off on that tangent there, but point being, that may be her only experience, and that may be how she got a game. But she may end up having a kid with a guy that's, you know, what some motherfuckers would consider beta. But when we talk about territories and we talk about an inhabitable to area and societies and whatever else, man, it is what it is. Again, man, my thing is, and I'll say this too, coupled with that, the reason why I use that example, a good lawyer can argue for or against anyone and anything. If you know about the law of duality, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Hermes Trismegistus. You know about the law of duality, and you know, opposites are one and the same. So just as much as you can argue for, is just as much as somebody else with the right knowledge, data, and information can argue against. So it doesn't really matter. It's taking yourself out of the arguing. You see what I'm saying? That neutrality is what it is. But that's Libra, you know what I mean? So like say like the balance of the scales. You got some and you balance it out. Whether it's in your favor or whether it's whatever, we ain't tipping over, right? But it's a balancing act. And that's what aggression serves for, man. Like I said, that balancing act. So I'm not necessarily trying to take up for women, but of course it is what it is. Like I've got a lot of friends and I've met a lot of guys throughout my lifetime, right, that have grown up in these single parent homes, you know what I'm saying? And now we in our 30s and 40s. I'm in my mid 30s, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, how can you tell a nigga, an average nigga, how could you, I think it's wrong to tell a guy not to take a woman who, a single mom that got kids. Nigga, you probably grew up like that. No one you grew up like that. You know what I'm saying? This is your opportunity to be a warrior. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not in that position myself, but even if I was, nigga, I'd take like 3-4 baby mamas. I'd have 3 or 4 of them at a time. Especially we talking about the community or the this or that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If she's a baby mama and her baby daddy kind of ain't really around, that might be the motherfucker you want. And not to abuse her and or whatever, but again, man, we talking about the kids. Whether it's a young lady, then that's an opportunity to change that little girl's life. Like, I'm all about the kids at the end of the day, man. Real shit. I'm all about the kids. That's why I don't have the mask on doing this, because this is like real shit, serious shit. That's why I don't mind running my mouth on this topic, man. Like I said, we just in the first, you know what I'm saying, couple pages, and I got all this motherfucking heat and whatnot. Alright. So, sexual selection by the female often has the same results as the rival fights. Wherever we find exaggerated development of colorful feathers, bizarre forms, etc., etc., in the male, we may suspect the males no longer fight, but that the last word in the choice of a mate is spoken by the female, and that the male has no means of contesting this decision. Okay? Now, I moved ahead a little bit. I did skip the page. I moved ahead a little bit because I feel like I did kind of already talk about this, but I'm going to read that one more time. Sexual selection by the female often has the same results as the rival fights. Wherever we find exaggerated development of colorful feathers, bizarre forms, etc., in the male, we may suspect that males no longer fight, but that the last word in the choice of a mate is spoken by the female, and that the male has no means of contesting this decision. So, again, like I was just fucking saying, dog, it's nuts, okay? Like I was just saying, man. Bizarre forms, okay? Exaggerated development of colorful feathers, alright? Now, you gotta get all big and fluffy and this and that and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? By big and fluffy, I mean these big muscular niggas. It's not that you have to, but the point being, exaggerated forms, bizarre forms, a normal human, an average human height is weight this, height that, you know what I'm saying? So to be like, I'm 5'10", for me to be 5'10" and 240, and I ain't no big bubbly nigga with muscles popping out of my neck and everything, you know what I'm saying? To be just a fat guy, or just like they say, out of shape, bizarre forms, this, that, and the third. This is why Kevin Samuels and a lot of the niggas, you know, they talk about how we just have to, amongst the black community, our women can be overweight and out of shape, or they could be underweight and grossly thin, or whatever you want to call it, and we just have to accept it. Got to take whatever, you know, we got to take it. But I will say this again: if you have a powerful enough imagination, if that woman herself, the black woman itself, is a symbol, should motivate the holy fucking shit out of you. If you have enough game, enough of a silver tongue, or whatever you want to call it, you can sweet talker enough. We 45 minutes in. I'm keeping out of time and trying not to kill you out. But if you got enough game, enough this or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then you can convince her, a rule book of arguments, you can convince her that it'll be her idea, or you can convince her of the need, of the want to get in shape, or to be in physical, this, that, and the third, or whatever. Or again, a science of love. If you understand what you require, to maintain the love and respect that you have for yourself, then you won't pick a mate that's not, you'll pick a mate that's already doing them things, that's on that type of shit. You see what I'm saying? Again, it's about a balance of the two, balancing your emotional with your mental. You see what I'm saying? The decisions you're making based off of, like, again, if you have this lust, this passion inside of you, well, then that's what it is. Then you have it. So accepting it and knowing it, either you can control it or you can't. You can channel it in this direction or that direction, or you can't. You see what I'm saying? But you, emotional intelligence, okay? But all right, back to the point here, okay? The males continue to compete in producing the largest, of a certain bird, all right? So basically it goes on to talk about these ducks, is what I was trying to tell you about, right? My bad. These ducks, okay? So the males, they grow certain feathers, they grow large as shit to impress the women, the females of this certain species. Now, amongst certain predators, because these feathers that they grow in an exaggeratedly large manner, they can't fly away. Now, the guys that don't have the large feather yet, the males of this species that don't have the large feather, well, he can fold his wings and flap his wings and he can fly away. You know what I'm saying? But the males that are more sexually active or trying to be more attractive, but whatever, the males that grow the super large feathers, when a predator comes around, they can't fly away, so they basically sitting ducks. But they're the most virile. They're the ones all the ladies want. So the males continue to compete in producing the largest possible wing feathers, and these birds will never reach a sensible solution and just decide to stop this nonsense at once. So that's how I look at a lot of you niggas. Like they say, was it peacock niggas and this and that or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at a lot of this shit, right? Like, this alpha shit, real talk. It's how I look, not necessarily you niggas, because y'all following me and y'all done stuck with me this long. Y'all some smart ass niggas. You're highly intelligent. I praise you for that, man. Highly intelligent guys. But real shit, man. A lot of these guys, like I said, they over here debating what is alpha and this and that. What does it matter? You see what I'm saying? They'll keep going on and on instead of just stopping. Those are peacocks strutting. They still are. A high value man. Does that matter if you an ugly nigga? Even if you an old nigga, but you can't get no pussy. They don't want to fuck on old niggas. Well, yeah, you gonna have to pay. I'm just saying, man, this shit gets wild. But again, man, look, that's 45 minutes. I'm gonna stop, man. I know I'm on my own. I'm gonna stop right there, like I said, man. That's just page 41. And that's just some of the shit, where we find aggression and whatever else, man. If y'all like this, holler at me. We'll keep going. Yeah, that was, let's just say chapters 1 through 3. Next chapter is the spontaneity of aggression. Okay? The spontaneity of aggression. And we'll go further into that, man. Because, again, it just goes on and on and on, man. You can apply this shit to so many different levels, right? But I done ran my mouth, shut my mouth off enough, man. 50 minutes of gold, bro. Holler at me, man. OZ the Wizard. Like, share, subscribe, or do none of that shit, and I'll be just fine, man. As long as you took your time. Thank you.